If you're a rookie agent or you're somewhat a seasoned agent and you want to grow your team and become big in the real estate world, today's episode is all about that. I'm going to bring in today's guest, who is not only my mentor, but also my team leader and partner, Bob Lucido. He has over 40 years of experience in the real estate world, one of the top most Keller Williams agent worldwide, and he's going to share the principles and habits and discipline that an agent needs to have to become big in the real estate world. I learned a lot from him, and part of who I am today is all because of the skills that he's taught me, and I'm here to share it with the world today. So don't miss this episode. It's going to be great. I grew up in a culture where my parents taught me that after your parents, your mentors, your leaders, and people who got you to where you are today are the most important people, and you have to respect them for what they have taught you. So, with mentors like Pat Hyben or Brian Buffini, Ryan Serhan, and then you, Bob.
Thank you. I'm honored.
I'm honored to be here sitting with you here today at my podcast and interviewing you. So, thank you, Bob, for being here and giving your time so that I can tell my audience why I got here for who I am, thanks to your teachings and the skills that you've taught me to be where I am today.
That's very kind of you. When you asked me to be on the podcast, it was a definite yes, and I wanted to do it whenever you wanted to do it. Yeah. Your family, you personally, your professionalism, your commitment to your clients, and the work that you do, Samina, is so impressive that you actually teach me, and I learn from you, watching you and how you operate. So every good teacher is a great student, and I'm being a student around you.
We all learn from each other, Bob, so thank you for the kind words.
Yes.
Bob, coming from the role where you started, let's start with where you started in the beginning, when you started your real estate career.
Right.
What are the disciplines, like as an agent, if you were to tell a new agent, what disciplines do you have to instill in yourself to get to become a Bob Lucido today?
Well, you're always growing, you're always learning. Early in my career, I got in the real estate business when I was 18 years old. So I had some great mentors. I didn't really have a coach, somebody to guide me step by step. So I kind of self-taught myself. And there were a lot of people like Brian Tracy and a lot of great public speakers and leaders that I would listen to the tapes back then, cassette tapes, and read books. I was always looking for ways to be better. So if you're in business, in life, anything that you do, I always strive to be the best that I can be in any particular area. So I'm always striving to be learning. So I set big goals and realized that if I wanted to achieve those goals, I needed to have a plan and needed to have a discipline. And you can't do it kind of like working out. You can't work out one day a week and then every other week. You have to have a regimen if you want to achieve your goals. So that was my goal with business, was to constantly improve. The most important thing you can do is improve yourself first. And there's many areas that I need to improve on myself. We all do. But by taking that and making yourself the best you can be, then you can share with other people. And I learn from the people around me, and I'm very selective in the people that I hang around with.
That you can learn from as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I learn from rookies. I learn from people. We're going to have somebody on our Competitive Edge call this Thursday who her goal 7 years ago was just to meet me. Well, here, I'm interviewing her, and I'm learning some things from her, and she's going to be on a call, and I'm so happy and impressed with what she's doing. And it's amazing how the teacher sometimes becomes the student. So I will be a student this Thursday, and we all need to know that you're on this journey and you're always learning. In fact, one of the greatest compliments I think I've ever received is somebody said, "Bob, you could teach this course. There's a big seminar with several thousand people. I'm sitting in the front row and I'm taking notes."
Right.
And they say, I'm like, I'm looking for one or two great ideas that I know that I can take and make myself better.
Yeah. I agree with you, Bob, because I mean, my dad always told me that the day you stop learning, you stop
Yes.
growing.
Yes.
And I feel like there's so much to learn
Absolutely.
on a daily basis. You know, you learn something and you start implementing
Right.
and improve yourself in baby steps.
Yes.
That's the pathway to growth.
There's a great saying out there, that you're either alive and growing or dead and dying. So I believe you always want to be growing yourself personally, and then you
Right.
can help others. By the way, mentioning your dad, I'd be remiss if I didn't say I'm wearing a special tie today, a very nice tie. It's a very
Yes.
expensive tie. Had the pleasure of being at Samina's house, and beautiful house. There's pictures of Princess Diana, Colin Powell, all these amazing leaders, and her dad was there. And he walked around and he said, "Do you think I'm qualified to work with the Bob Lucido team?" After knowing all these people, I said, "Well, I think we might be able to consider hiring you." But I complimented him on this tie that he was wearing. I said, "You know something? It's a gorgeous tie. It just looks so great on you." Next thing I know, he comes from the next room, and he hands me a tie. He says, "This is a gift. It's a very very expensive tie."
Yeah.
So I wore it today in honor of your dad.
Yes,
And,
thank you.
So
It looks great on you, Bob. And, you know, great minds, they think alike. And I think that's another thing that, you know, we should learn from my dad, that, you know, have a big heart
yes,
and always be giving, you know.
Yes.
And that also brings in the abundant mentality, I believe.
I just wish I would have complimented him on his Rolex because maybe he would have brought a Rolex to me. Just kidding.
Yeah.
The tie was a wonderful gift, and I appreciate it. I wear it with great remembrance of your dad.
Thank you.
He was
Thank
an
you, Bob.
amazing man, and so was your mom and your entire family.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. What does a day start like for Bob Lucido?
Well, it's always changing over the years, but for the longest time, I used to get up really early. I'll encourage everybody that getting up early gives you a competitive advantage over your competition. You you have those hours in the morning, whether you exercise, pray, do some quiet work, meditate, whatever it is, it's your time. And I get up very, very early because my schedule has changed and I work a little bit later in the evening. Because I used to get up at 4:30 for 30 years. Even without an alarm clock, we get up between 4 and 4:30. Now it's normally about 5:30. Get up, do some quiet time for myself and some reading, and then go to the gym in the morning at 7 o'clock. So I got a structure, discipline as to what I'm going to do, and then when I come back, get on the computer and do some paperwork. I try not to touch a piece of paper after 9 o'clock in the morning. What does that mean? People tend to get into busy work all day long, and I don't want to be consumed with busy work. And after 9 o'clock, I'm in client prospecting or meeting with clients. I want to be in the productive phase of my business. So I'm very disciplined in my time and what I do. So I would encourage people to be very giving of themselves, but selfish of their time,
Right.
because that is the most important thing. And if you can structure your time, you'll have a whole lot more to do on the productive things that will generate pleasing and revenue producing activities for you.
I agree with you. I mean, you know, for me, for example, my day starts the night before. You know, I just feel that I don't want to wake up and think, what do I have to do today? You know, I
Yes.
just want to write it down
Mhm.
the night before, that these are things I need to do, and then just prioritize.
Yes.
And obviously, for our lives, Bob, the things get put in the list as we go throughout
Yes.
the day, and we're constantly prioritizing. Would you agree?
Absolutely. We're constantly being grabbed by people that want your time, and you want to be giving, and you want to be we're in the service business, so we want to take care of people, but you have to compartmentalize your time. Like there was a builder that I represented years ago who did not take any calls to his office before 11 a.m. He said it was strictly for outgoing calls. So he would structure his activities, because without that, you get bombarded and you can't really deliver the proper service that you want to deliver. So being structured, having a routine, like you get up every morning and you know what you're doing. I mean,
Right.
Steve Jobs was famous for wearing some of the same clothes over and over again because he
Right.
didn't want to have to think about what to wear.
Right.
So when you get up, you know what you're doing. You're going to do this, and you've got a schedule, and you got an advantage over everybody else who's really a wandering generality.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, when do you lead gen? And
Lead,
do you lead gen every day?
absolutely. I encourage everybody. That's probably one of the most productive activities you can do. Depending on appointments, I focus. You can do it in the morning. I think 9 to 11 is a really good time. I find also that my lead gen from 4 to 6 in that range is also good. But I'm focused on making sure that I do it every single day of setting appointments. In fact, I have a quote that I've used for myself over the years, and other people have now used it, is show me your calendar, I'll show you how much money you're going to make.
I love that.
I remember when I was in new home sales, I would never go into a weekend without 3 to 5 planned, confirmed appointments. Because if I didn't have an appointment, I knew I wasn't going to get any sales. In that one community, Elizabeth's Landing, I sold about on average 150 to 200 houses a year, and I would always go on the weekend with 3 to 5 planned, confirmed appointments.
And your calendar. Do you look at your calendar on a daily basis and
Absolutely.
try to see where the gaps are?
Absolutely. I still use a digital calendar also, but I have a paper calendar because it travels with me in the car, and write notes on it and have phone numbers there that I want to call every day, and they're right in front of me. So if I have in between appointments, if I have a certain amount of time, always making sure I'm calling my hottest prospects and seeing if I can set more appointments. And if not, then I'll have other calls. So I'm always trying to be ahead of the curve, and my calendar gives me a competitive advantage.
Now, this is coming from the perspective of a new agent.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you call?
Who do I call? Okay, for new agents, you don't have a lot of past customers, so you
Right.
need to be constantly looking at your people, in your database, which could be family, friends, people that I went to high school. I get a lot of business from. So
Parents, friends?
sure, it could be those people as well. I do a lot of open houses, so I have a lot of prospects from the open houses that I want to call, again, trying to set an appointment. So I also have people that I've gone on listing appointments, and although I try to close them the first time, a lot of them may not be ready. So I have a lot of those people in the pipeline that I'm always following back
You're
up with.
nurturing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep, you build that.
I had a call with my coach today, and he told me, Samina, you need to talk to 3 new people every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm thinking that, I can talk to 30 new people a month in one event,
Right.
but he's challenged me, no, events are separate.
Mm-hmm.
3 new people every day is your challenge on a daily basis.
Yep.
So now I'm thinking, Bob, I don't go out of the house much. I'm focused on my work, and when I'm showing houses, that's the only time I'm going out.
Right.
And the rest of the time, I'm constantly, working on my business
Mm-hmm.
and talking to clients on the phones and everything. And then I'm thinking, how do I meet new people? 3 new people every day. Where do I even go to meet 3 new people? I'm thinking cafe.
It's easy.
And what would you suggest?
It's easy, especially for new people. You have to enjoy meeting new people. So whether you go to lunch, and I've gotten some business where I give business cards out to the servers. I say, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell a home, or somebody looking for a career in real estate, please contact me. Well, the server gave it to his mother, and we ended up selling their house for $925,000. So make it fun. It's you go to the dry cleaners, you go out for coffee at Starbucks, or wherever you go, and engage people, have conversations. This is a contact sport. The more people you engage, the more people you go and speak with, the more successful you'll be. In fact, early on in my career, the first seminar I attended was from Tom Hopkins. I was 18 years old. And the seminar was not 8 hours. It was a good seminar. But somebody came up at the end and said, Tom, you wasted our time. And the whole room was quiet. It was like 3,000 people. And they said, this could have been a 10-minute seminar. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, he drew something on the board. And he said, do you know what this is? And nobody in the audience knew what it was. He actually drew 2 belly buttons, and said, Tom, if people go belly to belly, face to face with 5 to 10 people a day, they'll become a multimillionaire. And that statement resonated with me back then when I was 18, and today it still resonates with me, that if you're not achieving your goals, you're not meeting enough people. You're not going face to face with people that could make a decision in your favor. So that's been my whole mantra in my business: is you have to go face to face. I don't see people that stay home and work, or they're in the office, and that's good that you're in the office, you're making calls, but you have to get out and go belly to belly, face to face, if you want to be really successful.
Right. I remember Brian Buffini. He was my first coach, and he told us, if you're in the office, you're not working.
Well, I believe there's a time to be in the office, and it's scheduled time for lead gen and prospecting and role playing and handling objections and learning, so that you're better.
Yeah.
But if you have people invading your space in the office, and you're just taking calls randomly for home inspections, and you spend 5 hours on home inspections and handling problems, there's a time for that. But you got to make sure that you're spending your most productive time doing lead generation, because the sales you have will dry up, and if you don't prospect, you'll soon have no business.
So basically, you're saying focus on your 20% and delegate your 80%.
Yes, I would say do the most productive thing possible at every given moment, and make sure that you're doing the most important things. Because if you don't, your business will quickly dry up. I've had some of the best years, and you get lots of sales in the pipeline, and that's when I feel the most productive. But you always want to keep filling your pipeline.
Keep it fluid.
Celebrate your successes, but keep learning, keep growing, but keep prospecting, so that you keep those your pipeline
fluid,
full.
Yeah.
Yeah, very critical.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming to a leadership role, how do you motivate yourself to motivate others? How do you do that?
Early on, when I used to coach my sons in baseball, I remember somebody coming up, and Robert was, I was coaching my son Robert, who works in the company and does a really great job. They said, we'd like you to motivate my son the way that your son is. And I said, well, I can't do that. They go, you're the coach, you're supposed to motivate. I said, no, I'm really not. My job is to create an environment for them to achieve their ultimate greatest potential, but to create that environment, because motivation will leave in a day. But if I provide the environment where they like training, they like learning, they'll do it on their own, and they'll have a passion for it. So I created an environment for kids to grow and learn playing baseball, that they found themselves getting better, and it's all a path to really great success. Well, I like to do that with our agents. I like to lead by example and help them with their business by showing them, here's the path that you could take to achieve your success. But it begins with a discipline. It begins with time management and making sure you're doing the most productive thing possible at every given moment.
And goal writing, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. I just did my annual planning for the company and for myself personally, and then looking at your goals every day. And then, I used to do, and I still do this to some degree, I write my annual goals, but then I would modify my goals or add more goals every month, and I have them in 5 areas, and that's spiritual, family, physical, business, and personal. And I grade myself on my goals on how well I did. I go check plus, or check minus. So you have those, and constantly looking at your goals. Because if you don't have something to shoot for, then you really, when you come across an objection or an upset seller or buyer, then you get down. But if you keep your eye on the goal, on the big picture, it becomes more attainable.
I guess, like your yearly goal, you could divide it into monthly goals and weekly goals, and just focus on the week. That's what I do, Bob. I focus on the weekly goals. I don't overwhelm myself with the monthly goals, because I feel that if I win the day, I win the week.
Right.
Win the week, I win the month.
Right.
And then win the year eventually.
Yep. Set your big goal, but really set the goal every day for what you're going to do, because 365 a year is simply 365 individual days.
Yeah.
So win the day, and set up a plan of action that you're going to win the day, and that you accomplish what you need to feel satisfied. Because at the end of the day, if you don't feel like you accomplish anything, you lose interest in the job, you're not as motivated. But I try to move forward every day in a positive way.
Right. Speaking of the different circles of life where
Mm-hmm.
it's spiritual, financial, family, business, personal,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing I did was like, what you were saying, that see where you are in each circle of your life and take yourself to the next level. And what was interesting was with Brian, I learned that, there are four stages to
Mm-hmm.
that, where you are at survival or stability or
Right.
success or significance,
Right.
which was pretty interesting. So now what I do is I gauge
Mm-hmm.
with each circle of my life where I stand in each stage.
I
And
like
if I'm
that.
at survival, I take what it will take to take myself to
Mm-hmm.
stability.
Right.
And then if I'm at stability, what it will take to get to success or significance.
Right. Those are
Yeah.
great. Those S's are nice little acronyms to help you get to achieving your goals.
Yeah, and then remember the three W's we were, four W's we were talking about. That
Yes.
um, there is the why
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it,
Yep.
and what motivates me,
Yep.
and then the wall, and then the win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big thing is the why. Why are you doing this? Why?
Yeah.
Because you could retire today. I could retire today.
Yeah.
We enjoy what we're doing. We have goals, and we have this is self fulfillment where you can help other people achieve their goals, whether it be buyers, sellers, or other agents. So I consider this like a baseball game, and that is, I want it to be fun. When it stops being fun, then we'll go sit on the beach somewhere. But right now, it's a lot of fun, and you try to make it fun every day by challenging yourself to be the best that you can be.
I think you and I have one thing in common, Bob, that we like impacting other people's lives a lot.
Absolutely,
That
absolutely,
changing their lives, and see that when they have wins,
yes,
that gives us a lot of satisfaction.
yes, absolutely. You see it with you see it with your children. You see it with your agents when they get their first buyer agency agreement. That's
Yeah.
like a great celebration because remember we were all rookies at one time. I remember getting the business when I was 18 years old. The first house I sold, they didn't have any checkbooks. I said, just give me $1. The real estate class said, you just need consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So my first contract I took with a $1 deposit. So being a rookie, we're all there. You're going to make mistakes, but know why you're doing this business. Love it. Know you're going to learn. Know you're going to make mistakes, but don't take your eye off the big picture. Know why you're doing this.
Right. Bob, you are mainly a listing agent.
Mm-hmm.
You hardly work with buyers,
Mm-hmm.
whereas I do both.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I want to learn from you is that when a market shifts,
Right.
okay, from a seller market to a buyer market, how do you shift your mindset mentally as a listing agent?
Well, let me share this. There's actually 3 things that I love doing in real estate. Number one, I love being a premier listing agent because I love helping sellers maximize their profits, and I have a passion for that. So that's my number one thing I love to do. Second, I'm not a buyer's agent, but I do love counseling people on how to buy, and I work together with one of our top partners in our team, you and other agents on our team, on them how to to help them be a great buyer's agent.
Mm-hmm.
So I can help the buyer indirectly with the other buyer agent. So I do help people buy. I just don't go, because being a buyer's agent is a lot of work. You're knocking on doors, you're sending out mailers. It's a whole effort. And quite frankly, I think buyer's agents should get paid more than what they're getting paid. It is a tough job. And when I see somebody trying to negotiate a buyer's agent's fees, I'm like, are you kidding? I would pay a buyer's agent more money to help me achieve my dreams and goals. I wouldn't try to discount their fee.
Yeah.
So I love helping people find their dream home through one of our partners. And the third thing I love to do is help people achieve financial independence with buying real estate, investing in real estate, preparing for their retirement, or helping with their kids' college education. I teach some investment seminars. In fact, I'm getting together with you next week to help you.
Right.
And so these are my 3 passions. The number one being I love helping sellers maximize their profits because there's a real art. Just like there's certain doctors, like your husband is in incredible infectious disease.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't go to an ear, nose, and throat specialist if you had a disease. You go to your husband. So I look for the best in the industry, and I pay them accordingly. And I like to be perceived as one of the best in the world on listings.
Bob, Last question for you. How do you motivate sellers to list with you?
How do I motivate sellers to list with me? First off, it's a whole presentation. Um, how you arrive, like you're a professional, you dress nicely, you come prepared, your car's washed, you're there
Present yourself.
you present yourself, and the presentation um, of the home, you learn about the home, learn about the sellers. You want to create the relationship. People, one thing they want to write down on this is that with any aspect of real estate, you want to make sure that you create the relationship. So I'm big into the relationship. My listing appointments are normally 2.5, 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
You spend a lot of time there learning about them, learning about their goals and aspirations. Walk through the house. I want to help them achieve what is their goal. In fact, one of the greatest questions I ever heard in sales was by Tony Robbins. He said, if you had to paint a picture of the perfect sales listing presentation or sales situation, tell me what that is. And then the seller would say, this is how I'd like my home to be sold. And then I would maybe sell into that vision. I would listen to what is important to them.
It's all about them.
It's all about them and what are their goals.
What their goals are.
And I think it's critically important, and I wrote this in a little booklet I give the sellers, is there's 4 steps to get your home sold for top dollar. And I think every house in America should sell in 5 days if this is done. Number 1 is price it right. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is be the best home on the block. Make your house look great without over improving it. Mm-hmm. 3, hire a team that will market aggressively and you have a lot of traffic. And 4, hire a highly skilled negotiator that can maximize your profits. Don't look for a discount agent, look for the best, and that's how they're going to win, is by hiring the best agent who can guide them through the process.
I know why I'm at the Bob Lucido team, because I feel like I'm working with the best here in the industry. But for agents out there, why should they come to the Bob Lucido team?
Well, there's a lot of options, and it's incredible how many teams and how many real estate companies are out recruiting and contacting people. And we have 2 types of people that really join. Those people that are rookies and who are new, and we love rookies because they're coachable and they have big dreams and they're not afraid to make mistakes. And then there's people that are veterans who have been in the business for a while. So I believe that we provide the greatest platform for people to achieve excellence and success in their career. We have all the tools. One of our agents said, who just came to us from another organization, said, you have everything. Moving trucks, marketing, coaching. You've got guaranteed sale program. You have programs to fix up the house. You have everything. If people aren't successful, it's really on them. Sometimes we just have to look in the mirror and say, I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. I need to change, improve myself.
Well, Bob, thank you for your time today. What is your last piece of advice for agents who want to get to your level?
Well, thank you for, again, the honor of being here. And first, I would tell people, look at Samina. Samina is a great role model. And what you've done with networking, how you care for people, your work ethic, I mean, you are a living example of what to do. So
thank you.
You don't need to look much further other than yourself.
Thank you.
For people starting out, I would share with them that a couple of things. One, make sure you align yourself with people that you feel confident in, that share the same goals and vision of you, that they have passion. 5 things I look for when hiring somebody is integrity. Can I trust them? Number 2, are they a team player? 3, are they coachable? I'm always trying to get better.
Yeah.
4, do they have a servant's heart? You look at people like Ritz-Carlton, Lexus, Nordstrom's. These are all great high service. And Bizzuto Company, who was one of my builder clients. These are great people that love to serve and are achieving great success. And number 5, do they have the tiger in their eye? This is very important. Do they have passion? I share with my kids, who I think are very intelligent, have great degrees. Degrees in education is so important. Mm-hmm. But the world's full of a lot of lazy, smart people. If you don't take action, and I've had the pleasure of hiring between 2,500 and 3,000 people over the years, and the people that I see that become successful have this burning desire to achieve greatness, and they will stop at nothing. So that they're a little bit confident and they confident in what they're doing, even though they'll make mistakes. They're determined, and I love that determination and that passion. So I would encourage people to find a great team to partner up with. Hire a coach. Have somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Have an accountability partner. Have people that you talk to each week to make sure you're in your personal life, your physical life. Make sure you're doing right. I have some people that I speak with, and I want them to compliment me, but I want them to criticize me in areas that I need improvement on. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. And if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Okay? I'm constantly trying to be better. And number 5, dream big. There's a great book called The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. And have big dreams. Know why you're doing this. Believe in yourself. I read that when I was 18 years old, The Magic of Thinking Big, and I still have quotes in my closet of from the book that I look at. Dream big.
Yeah.
If you're going to live this life, play the game, do it big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
Sure. Well, thank you for this honor, and I hope that everyone watching this
Yes.
takes away a few items.